Hello everyone, this is Al, Red Sox fan, coming to you on this Thursday afternoon. It's an afternoon baseball, and we have Game 2 of the 1940s decade team versus the 1970s decade team in our Action PC Baseball Beatles Eternally All-Decade Tournament. Again, brought to you by a good friend of the channel, Beatles Eternally. So this is Game 2 of 40s versus the 70s decade teams. The 70s took Game 1 in crushing fashion, destroying Bob Feller and anyone else the 40s decade team put out on the mound. So this is best out of 3. If the 1970s can defeat the 1940s, they will advance to round 2 of this all-decade tournament to see who will be the Decade World Series winner. So let's get to the lineups and get on to the ball game, as I'm home today from work waiting for my mother to come home from the hospital. I have about an hour to kill. Boy, that's the wrong terminology. Alright, let's get to the lineups. I will be managing the 1940s decade team, the computer, the 1970s. And let's make sure we have that set up right. Preferences. And now we do. Okay, leading off for the 70s, Pete Rose in left field. Batting second, Cesar Cedeno in center. Mike Schmidt gets the start at third base, and he's batting third. Steve Garvey, the cleanup hitter, playing first. Johnny Bench gets the start behind the plate, batting fifth. Bobby Bonds is in right field, batting sixth. Bobby Grich is playing second base, batting seventh. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Jose Concepcion. And batting ninth, doing the pitching, Jim Palmer. For the 1940s decade team, Jackie Robinson will be leading it off, playing second base. Enos Country Slaughter gets a start here in Game 2 in right field, batting second. Joe DiMaggio, who struggled in Game 1, is batting third in center field. Ted Williams out in left, batting fourth. Vern Stevens, batting fifth. He is a shortstop. Mickey Vernon, first baseman, batting sixth. Behind the plate is Danny. He's batting seventh. And playing third base is Keltner. He's batting eighth. On the mound for the 1940s decade team, Hal Newhouser, and he is batting ninth. Newhouser, in his season of selection, went 20-11 with a 2.52 earned run average, striking out 168, walking 92. Will face Pete Rose. Rose batting .500 with no home runs and 3 ribbies. Rose, in his year of selection from the 70s, .321, 9 homers, 64 runs driven, and switch hitter. He's batting righty against the left-handed throwing Newhouser. Danny behind the plate, 6 out of 10 defense, 6 out of 10 arm. Keltner's a 9 out of 10 at third. Stevens 5 out of 10 at short. Jackie Robinson 8 out of 10 at second, same as Vernon at first, 8 out of 10. Ted Williams below average in left, fielding and arm, 4 out of 10 for both. Joe DiMaggio, 8 out of 10 defensive range, 7 out of 10 arm and center. And Enos Country Slaughter, 6 out of 10 defensive range, 8 out of 10 arm. So Rose digs in. Newhouser picks up the sign from Danny. Here comes the pitch, and we are on our way, Game 2. And Rose promptly hits the ball to center. He's digging for 2! DiMaggio's throw is not in time, so Charlie Hustle gets himself a hustle double to start off things here. In Game 2, he's in scoring position for Cesar Cedeno. He's getting his first start in this best out of 3 series. His year of selection in the 70s, he batted .298, 16 homers, 78 RBIs. Rose takes his lead. Danning sets the target. Here's the pitch to Cedeno. And that's a fly ball, left center field. DiMaggio on the run, makes the catch. Rose goes back, he tags up. Here's the throw. Keltner puts the tag on, but it's too late. Rose slides in safely. He's 90 feet away from giving the 70s decade team a lead. And here comes Mike Schmidt. Schmidt gets his first start here in Game 2. He batted .279 in his year of selection. 43 home runs, 107 runs driven in. One out, Rose at third. Newhouser picks up the sign, the windup and the pitch. And Schmidt sends a fly ball to left. Williams goes back a bit, makes the catch. Will Rose tag up and challenge Ted Williams' arm? He will. Here's the throw. Danning! And he's out! He is out! They're saying Rose left early. Newhouser throws to third. He is safe, but he's out. I don't get it. Did it not say he was out? It said he was out. Wow. So I guess the umpires talked it over. Wow, it said he was out. It came up in red, out. 1-0, 70s decade team. That's a faux pas there. Ted Williams is jumping up and down and left. Danning's not too happy behind the plate. The initial call was out. Go back, if anyone can go back and look at that video. But now they said Rose is trying for home. Williams' throw. Rose scores easy. That's not what it said. Then they said he left early. They threw over. They said no, he's safe. So 2 outs, 1-0. 70s decade team. I will go back and check that video. It said he was out. So here's Garvey. Base is empty. Garvey batting .666 with 1 homer and an RBI. In his year of selection, .310. 21 round trippers, 104 runners batted in. Garvey awaits the Newhouser delivery. Here it comes. And Garvey launches a solo shot to left center as Williams raced towards the wall and then just looked up. And just like that, it's 2-0, 70s. Johnny Bench comes to the plate with 2 outs. So Newhouser and the 40s decade team still upset with that call at the plate. And Newhouser loses concentration, throws a flat slider, and Garvey crunches it. Here's Johnny Bench. Bench getting his first start. Thurman Munson started game 1. Bench batted .280, 26 homers, 112 runs batted in. Danning wiggles the fingers. Newhouser nods his head. He rocks and fires to Bench. And he walks Johnny Bench. Stepping to the plate, father of Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonds. He gets his first start in right field. As Dave Parker started game 1. .276, 26 homers, 91 runs driven in. Vernon holding Bench on at first. Bonds ready to grip and rip. Newhouser nods his head. The windup and the pitch to Bobby Bonds. And he strikes him outside, retired for the 70s decade team. Jumps out to a 2-0 lead with a controversial call at the plate. And then followed that by a home run by Johnny Bench. 2 up for the 40s decade team. They need to win to force a game 3. Robinson, Slaughter, and DiMaggio to face Jim Palmer. Jim Palmer in his year of choice, 21-11, 2.45 earned run average. Struck out 173, walked 96. Johnny Bench 10 out of 10 behind the plate with a 9 out of 10 arm. Schmidt 9 out of 10 at third. Concepcion 9 out of 10 at short. Bobby Grich 9 out of 10 at second. And guess what? Steve Garvey 9 out of 10 at first. That's what you call an absolutely spectacular defensive infield. Pete Rose 7 out of 10 in left, 5 out of 10 arm. Cesar Cedeno in center, 9 out of 10 defense, 6 out of 10 arm. And Bobby Bonds in right, 8 out of 10 for both arm and defense. Here comes Jackie Robinson. He's batting .400 with no home runs, no ribbies. He batted .317 with 14 homers and 85 runs batted in his year of choice for the 40s. Palmer looks in, picks up the sign from Bench. Here's the pitch to Jackie Robinson. And Robinson rips a shot to left, and Rose makes the catch. 1 away. Enos Country Slaughter steps to the plate. Slaughter getting his first start in right field. He batted .310. 13 homers, 95 runs batted in, left-handed batter, 7 out of 10 bunter. He'll be taking. Here's the pitch from Palmer. Ball one. Off-speed pitch. Missed. Slaughter to take again. Strike one. That off-speed pitch got in there. 1-1 count. Johnny Bench pounds the mitt, sets the target. Palmer with the windup. Slaughter sends that ball up the middle. Critch dives, gets up and throws to Garvey for the out. What a nice play by Bobby Critch. Robbing Enos Country Slaughter of a hit. So 2 outs, base is empty. Here comes Joe DiMaggio. DiMaggio in game 1 was 1 for 5 with a double, an RBI, and a run scored. He's batting 200 in actuality in his year of selection. 328, 38 homers, 137 runs batted in. 2 outs, base is empty. Palmer nods his head. He kicks and fires. DiMaggio pops it up. Rose coming in from left field, but Schmidt calls him off and makes the catch. Side retired. We go to the top of the second, 2-0, the 70's. 2 up for the 70's. Bobby Critch made that fabulous diving play up the middle to throw out Slaughter. Then Davey Concepcion and Jim Palmer to face Newhouser. Critch getting his first start at second base. 281, 20 home runs, 67 runs batted in. Newhouser's ready. He deals to Critch. Fly ball, right center field. DiMaggio has a beat on it. Makes the catch, 1 away. Davey Concepcion steps to the plate. Concepcion, 2 for 4 in game 1. Scored 2 runs. He batted 289 in his year of choice or selection. 9 homers, 70 ribbies. Excellent bunter, 9 out of 10, but we will keep our infield at normal depth. Danning goes through the signs. Newhouser acknowledges. He kicks and fires to Concepcion. And he strikes him out. 2 up, 2 down. This is where Newhouser got in a bit of a pickle. He had 2 outs when he gave up those 2 runs in the top of the first. Very controversial call at the plate. Pete Rose looked like he was thrown out. Then they changed the call. The 40's appealed to third base also. They lost that. Rose scored. The next batter, Bench, hit a solo shot to make it 2-0. Here's Jim Palmer, 2 outs. Newhouser works quickly to his counterpart. And Palmer laces a single to center, something you don't want to happen. The pitcher batting 9th with 2 outs, singles to center. That brings up Pete Rose, who's now in the series. 2 for 3. That's a .667 batting average. Today's 1 for 1 with a double and a run scored. Vernon holding Palmer on at first. Newhouser takes a peek. Now looks in at the plate. Danning sets the target. Here's the pitch to Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose. And Rose rips a shot to left center field. Palmer hits second base and moves on to third. Ball's fielded up by DiMaggio, who throws it back in towards the infield. So 2 outs, runners on the corners. Once again, Newhouser finds himself in a pickle with 2 outs, and Cesar Cedeno's at the plate. He's 0 for 1. On deck, Mike Schmidt. Danning flashes the fingers. Here's the pitch to Cedeno. And it's a pop-up, foul territory. Keltner gives chase, going towards the stands. He reaches in, but cannot make the catch. So no balls, 2 strikes on Cedeno. He steps back in the right-hander's batter's box. Palmer at third, Rose at first. Here's the pitch. Cedeno rips a shot to left. Williams fields it. Rose goes first to third. Palmer scores 3-0, the 70's. As their hot hitting continues from game 1 when they crushed the 1940's. And here's Mike Schmidt with 2 outs, runners on the corners. Schmidt had the sacrifice fly to left that Rose scored on, and the initial call was out. And they changed it quite quickly. Why, I don't know. Newhouser takes a deep breath on the hill. The windup and the pitch to Mike Schmidt. And Schmidt sends that ball right center field. On the run is Joe DiMaggio on the run, and he makes the leaping catch and crashes into the right center field wall to end the inning. What a play by Joe DiMaggio, as that would have definitely scored 2 runs, as the runner at first is off on contact. Wow, what a play by DiMaggio. But the 70s do put a run on the board. We go to the bottom of the second, 3-0 70s. Due up for the 40s, Ted Williams, Vern Stevens, and Mickey Vernon. Williams is batting .500 with no homers, no RBIs. He batted .354 with 33 homers and 120 runs driven in. He will face Jim Palmer. Palmer's ready to work. Here's the pitch to Teddy Ballgame. Williams, it's a dribbler to short. Concepcion comes charges in. Quick release to first. Garvey with the stretch. Safe. Williams beats it out. Not known really for his speed. Beats it out for an infield hit. Here comes Vern Stevens, the shortstop. He's batting .667, 2 for 3 with the ribby. He batted .289, 24 homers, and 116 runs driven in. As Tim Carroll has joined us in the chat. How are you? Thank you for joining us. He says, nice catch by Joe DiMaggio. Yes, it was a spectacular catch. So, Williams is at first. No outs. Garvey holding him on. Vern Stevens steps to the plate. Palmer takes a peek to first. Now he kicks and fires to Stevens. And Stevens rips that ball. Mike Schmidt makes the catch. Fires the first, but Williams just gets back in time. Wow, Schmidt robs Stevens of a hit, and then almost doubled up Williams at first. So 1 out, 1 on for Mickey Vernon, who gets his first start at first base. Vernon batted .309, 17 homers, 90 RBIs. 3-0 70s. Game 2. If they win it, they will advance to the second round. It's a best out of 3 the first round. Palmer toes the rubber, looks in at bench. Bench sets a target. Here is the pitch to Vernon. Vernon swings. Fly ball, center field. Cedeno on the move, makes the catch. 2 down. Williams will not tag, as it gives me an opportunity to tag. We will say no. Down by 3, and it's only a 28% chance. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. Alrighty. 2 outs. Williams at first, and that brings up the catcher, Harry Danning. Danning, 1 for 2 in Game 1. He batted .296 in his year of choice from the 40s. 7 home runs, 61 RBIs. Williams will be off on contact. Garvey still holding him on. Bench sets the target. Here is the pitch to his counterpart, Danning. And Danning walks. So the tying run comes to the plate. The third baseman, Ken Keltner, he gets his first start at the hot corner in Game 2. He batted .281, 20 home runs, 92 ribbies. If Keltner goes deep, we have a tie ball game. 3-0 the 70s, bottom of the second, 2 outs, 2 on. Here's the pitch to Keltner. And Keltner sends that ball to left field. Rose on the run, and he makes the catch. He had a leap at the last moment. Side retired. We go to the top of the third. The 70s 3, the 40s nothing. 2 up for the 70s decade team. Garvey, Bench, and Bonds to face Hal Newhouser. Newhouser has given up 2 runs in the first and 1 run in the top of the second. Thus, a 3-0 lead. Garvey's 1 for 1. He homered. Newhouser nods his head. The wind-up and the pitch to Garvey. That ball goes to center field. DiMaggio coming in, and he makes the catch. 1 down. Here's Johnny Bench, the catcher. Bench awaits the Newhouser delivery. The pitch is coming homeward bound. Bench swings, that ball goes left. Ted Williams on the run, towards the track, towards the wall, and he makes the catch in front of the wall. 2 down. 40s fans applaud that effort by the splendid Splinter. And here's Bobby Bonds. He's 0 for 1. Newhouser looking for a 1-2-3 inning. He's been here before with the 2 outs. He had 2 outs in the first, and he gave up 2 runs. He had 2 outs in the second, and he gave up a run. Bonds ready to grip and rip. Danning wiggles the fingers. The windup and the pitch by Newhouser. Bonds swings, and that ball's up the middle for a base hit. So once again, Newhouser cannot get the 1-2-3 inning. Bonds at first, 9 out of 10 base runner, Vernon holding him on. And here's Bobby Gritch, who made a fabulous diving play up the middle to rob Enos Country Slaughter of a hit. He's 0 for 1, though, at the plate. Newhouser throws to first, and Bonds is back. It was a close call. Newhouser looks to first. Now in at the plate, picks up the sign from Danning. The windup and the pitch to Gritch. Gritch sends that ball to left field. Williams looks up, it's off the wall. He plays it off the wall. Bonds hits third base. They're going to send him. No chance of getting him. Williams will throw to third, and it's 4-0. So Bobby Gritch doubles. He just missed a home run to left with 2 outs, and once again the 2-out bugaboo gets Newhouser. 4-0 70s decade team. Here comes Davey Concepcion. He's 0 for 1. Danning goes through the signs. Here's the pitch. Concepcion swings. That ball goes to center field. DiMaggio on the run. Makes the catch, side retired. But the 70s tack on another run. We go to the bottom of the third. 4-0 70s. 2 up for the 40s. And they have to get their bats going. Is Newhouser, the pitcher, at the top of the order. Robinson and Enos Slaughter. And Newhouser's day might be done. He's already given up 4 runs. They can't lose. It's the best 2 out of 3. It's the best out of 3, excuse me. And they've already lost game 1. And that's going to be it for Newhouser. And we're going to go with Dominic DiMaggio will pinch hit. Joe's little brother, Dominic, will pinch hit for Newhouser. And Newhouser's day is done. Newhouser went 3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. They were all earned. He gave up a home run to Garvey, walked 1, struck out 2. So here's Dominic DiMaggio. He's 0 for 1. He had a pinch hit appearance in game 1. Palmer's ready for DiMaggio. Here's the pitch to the little professor. And DiMaggio dribbles one down to Schmidt. Schmidt fields it, fires to first. Garvey with the stretch. It's a bang-bang play, and they get Dominic. 1 away. Top of the order, Jackie Robinson's 0 for 1. Palmer works quickly to Robinson. Robinson up the middle. Gritch comes charging in, backhands it, spins, and fires to Garvey. 2 down. They just have a tremendous fielding infield, the 70s. Schmidt's a 9 at third. Concepcion's a 9 at short. Gritch is a 9 at second. And Garvey's a 9 at first. That's all 9 out of 10. So 2 outs, base is empty. Enos Country Slaughter 0 for 1. Bobby Gritch robbed him with a diving stop and threw him out at first. In his first at-bat. Can Slaughter fare better? We shall see. Johnny Bench sets the target. Here's the pitch to Enos Country Slaughter. Slaughter, slow roller to short. Concepcion comes charging and fires to Garvey. Another good stretch, and this time they don't get him. He is safe. So Slaughter with an infield hit. And that will bring up Joe DiMaggio. He's 0 for 1. If Joe can go yard, he'll cut the 70s lead in half. Garvey holding Slaughter on. DiMaggio at the plate. Bench sets the target. Palmer kicks and fires. DiMaggio swings. That ball goes to left. Rose is there, makes the catch, side retired. Go to the top of the fourth, 4-0 70s. The 40s decade team will bring in a new pitcher. And it will be, since there's no tomorrow, if they lose, we're going to go with let's see who we're going to go with. Eight saves. Maybe we'll use a star. I want to use a starter. Righties. Ted Wilkes pitched yesterday. He was not that good. 239, 230. Gene Thompson. Well, we're going to go with, I guess we're going to go with Joe Barry out of the pen. So here comes Barry. Barry in his year of selection, 7 wins, 7 losses, 6 saves, 2.34 earned run average, struck out 37, walked 25. He's good for 50 pitches. Barry will face Palmer, who's 1 for 1. He singled his first time up. Here's the pitch to Palmer. And Palmer sends that ball to right center. Enos Slaughter on the run, makes the catch. Palmer made a bid for his second hit, 1 away. Pete Rose steps to the plate, top of the order. Charlie Hustle's 2 for 2. He has a single and a double and has scored a run. Batting from the left side now against the right-handed throwing Barry. Barry picks up the sign from Danning. Here's the pitch to Charlie Hustle. Rose grounds it to Vernon, waves off Barry, takes it to the bag for out number 2. Can the 40s decade team finally have a 1-2-3 inning? We shall see. Something that Newhouser couldn't get. Can Barry get it? And here's Cesar Cedeno, the center fielder. He is 1 for 2 for the 70s. He has singled and knocked in a run. 2 outs, no one on. The windup and the pitch to Cedeno. And Cedeno singles to right center field. So once again, there is no 1-2-3 inning for the 40s. 2 outs, Cedeno's at first. Tremendous base runner, 10 out of 10. Base running ability, 74% chance of stealing second. Mike Schmidt at the plate. Barry throws over, and Cedeno gets back. Pitch out. There goes Cedeno. Danning throws down, and he throws it into center field. DiMaggio tries to get him at third, but they do not, as Cedeno just kept running. He's at third now with 2 outs. The error will be on Danning. A horrible throw. Went flying into center field. DiMaggio quickly backed up the ball, but it was too late. Cedeno is at third. Mike Schmidt at the plate, 2 down. Schmidt 0 for 1. Barry, the windup, the pitch. Schmidt grounds to Keltner, who throws across the Vernon side, retired. No runs are scored. The 70s threaten, but do not score. We go to the bottom of the 4th. The 1970s decade team 4, the 40s nothing. If the 70s win, they will take the best out of 3-2 games to none. They won game 1 in crushing fashion, 19-3 I think it was. So here's Ted Williams. He'll be followed by Vern Stevens and Mickey Vernon. Williams is 1 for 1 off Palmer. Bench wiggles the fingers. The windup and the pitch to the splendid Splinter. Williams swings, sends that ball to right field. Bonds on the run, comes in, makes the catch. 1 away. Vern Stevens steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Palmer deals quickly to Stevens. And that's a ball to center, and the line drive. Cedeno traps it. So a 1-out single for Stevens. And Mickey Vernon comes to the plate. Vernon's 0 for 1. He did have 17 home runs in his year of selection, so he has something popping at that. If he gets 1 out, he'll cut the 70s decade team in lead in half. Garvey holding Stevens on. Here's the pitch to Vernon. Vernon swings, he pops it up, left side. Schmidt calling for it, and he makes the catch. 2 down. So 2 outs, Stevens at first. He'll be off on contact. Here comes the catcher, Harry Danning. Danning walked his first time up. Palmer takes a peek at first. The windup and the pitch. Danning swings, he rips that ball. It's going to be a double. Stevens hits second base, moves on to third. Danning goes sliding into second. So second and third, and the number 8 batter, Ken Keltner, steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Keltner had 20 home runs in his year of selection. Definitely popping his bat. One swing of the bat in the 40s could be right back in this ball game. They trail 4-0. 2 outs, 2 on. Palmer on the mound. Keltner at the plate. Bench behind the plate. Bench goes through the signs. Palmer nods his head. The windup, the pitch to Ken Keltner. Keltner, slow dribbler to Schmidt. He comes charging in. He throws. Garvey stretches. And they just get Keltner by the hair of the chinny chin chin. The 40s threaten but do not score. We go to the top of the 5th. The 1970s decade team 4. The 1940s nothing. Barry back out on the mound. He'll face Garvey, Bench, and Bonds. Garvey's 1 for 2. He has homer. Barry's ready to work. Here's the pitch. And he strikes out Garvey. 1 down. Here comes Johnny Bench. Blue Emu Man. So probably people know Johnny Bench for now if you're young. He does the Blue Emu commercials for arthritic pain or joint pain. He awaits the Barry offering. Here comes the pitch, homeward bound. And Barry strikes out Bench. So he strikes out the first 2 batters. As Greg Gurecki, our good friend from the Great White North, joins us in the chat, he says he might have been safe. I thought Keltner was safe. And if you weren't here earlier, we threw out the first runner at the plate. Ted Williams threw out Pete Rose, tagging up from third. The out sign comes up, then they change it to safe. It's the most bizarre play I've ever seen in Action PC baseball. I'm going to go back and watch it. If anyone else can go back, you probably can. Look at that first inning. They called him out, and suddenly it said it was safe. You read it, it's safe. So, here's Bobby Bonds. 2 outs, no one on. Bonds 1 for 2 with a single. Hope all is well, Greg. Thank you for joining me. Barry picks up the sign from Danny. He sets and delivers. Bond swings. That ball goes to right center field. Slaughter on the run, and he makes the catch in front of the wall. Finally, a 1-2-3 inning for the 40s decade team. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and they have to get busy with the bats. They trail by 4. Hello, ID Jester. How are you, my friend? ID says, what's up, fellas? Hope all is well. Well, I'm home today. I'll be home today and tomorrow. My mom's coming back from the hospital. We got the bed set up and all the other stuff. So, anyway, that's why I'm home. I have a little time to kill, and instead of thinking about stuff, I said I'm going to play a baseball game. I've done enough thinking. So Barry's done, and Barry actually pitched pretty well. Barry went 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, struck out 2. We'll go with the pinch hitter for Barry. And it will be it's gonna be, oh boy, I like to say Ralph. I want to say Ralph Kiner, just in case we get people on base and we have to use a pinch hitter. He's got pop in his back. Frankie Hayes is our only catcher, and he doesn't hit that good anyway. It will be Lou Boudreau. Will come into pinch hit. Boudreau was 1 for 1 in yesterday's game. He came in to pinch hit, had a single. Greg Gurecki says, must be a 70s umpire, LOL. Greg Gurecki says, how are you, ID? It's been a while since I've been able to come by. And again, great to see you, Greg. Great to see a good friend of the channel, both good friends of the channel, Greg Gurecki and ID Jester. We also had Tim Carroll earlier in the chat. And remember to check out ID Jester's wonderful channel. ID just recently went over 1 million views. Again, hats off to ID Jester. That's ID Gesture. Alright, so Boudreau comes to plate. He had a pinch hit single yesterday. Can he duplicate the feat today? He's batting for Barry. The windup and the pitch from Palmer. Boudreau swings, sends that ball left center field. Cedeno on the run, looking up, and he bangs into the wall. Leaping catch by Cedeno, robbing Boudreau of extra bases. One away. What a play by Cesar Cedeno. ID gesture says, Al, good luck with your mother, and hope it goes well. Well, I hope it goes as well as it can. The final result, unfortunately, has been determined. So, but thank you for the well wishes. Alright, Jackie Robinson comes to the plate. I greatly appreciate that idea, I really do. You're one of the few people, you and Greg Gorecki, you always ask how I'm doing and stuff like that. And I appreciate that. So, thank you, my friends. Alright, Jackie Robinson's 0 for 2. He awaits the Palmer offering. Here comes the pitch. Robinson, dribbler down to Schmidt. He charges it. Poor play. I think Robinson will beat this out for an infield hit, and he does. Late break by Schmidt. So 1 out. Robinson's at first. Excellent base runner. Garvey holding him on. As Greg Gorecki says, Cedeno was quite a player. Yes, he was. And here's Enos Country Slaughter, 1 for 2. His 1 hit, an infield hit. His first time up, Bobby Critch robbed him of a base hit up the middle on a diving stop and throwing him out at first. Palmer takes a peek at Robinson. He's going nowhere, down 4 with 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Now he looks in at Bench. Bench sets the target. Here's the pitch to Slaughter. Slaughter swing, ground ball. Garvey comes in and takes it back to the bag himself. He reacted quite well on that slow bounding ball. So 2 outs, Robinson in scoring position for the slumping Joe DiMaggio. DiMaggio made a great catch, but he is 1 for 7 in the series with a double, RBI and a run scored. That's a 143 batting average. The Yankee Clipper needs to start clipping. Oh, where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio? A nation turns its lonely eyes to you. 2 outs. The windup and the pitch to Jolton Joe. DiMaggio swings, sends that ball down the left field line, and foul. Counts no balls, 2 strikes. Robinson will be off on contact. DiMaggio ready to grip and rip. Bench sets the target. The pitch. DiMaggio swings again down the left field line. Rose on the run in the corner, and he makes the catch. Nice play by Charlie Hustle, the man who attempted to break Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak but failed. We go to the top of the 6th, 4-0 70's. In Game 2, they won Game 1 in this best-of-3. If they win this one, they advance to the 2nd round of this playoff World Series tournament. And we need a new pitcher. And the new pitcher will be Gordon Maltzberger. Will come in to pitch. Here's Maltzberger, his year of choice from the 40's. 5-3 with 8 saves, 2.73 earned run average, struck out 32, walked 16. He'll face Bobby Critch, Davey Concepcion, and Jim Palmer. Critch 1 for 2 today. He has a double and an RBI. Is Larry Dolby, Greg Gorecki asks, is Larry Dolby on the 40's team? He was a great man. No, he might be on the 50's team. He's not on the 40's team. Yeah, Dolby's not on the 40's team. Alright, so here's Maltzberger. The windup and the pitch to Critch. Critch sends that ball to right field. Slaughter goes back a bit, makes the catch, 1 down. Davey Concepcion, the shortstop, 0 for 2. 9 out of 10 bunter, but we're going to play the infield normal. Maltzberger kicks and fires. Concepcion sends that ball left field. Ted Williams on the run towards the line, and he makes the catch. 2 down, 2 up, 2 down. Jim Palmer steps to the plate. The 70's decade pitcher's 1 for 2. He made a bid to be 2 for 2, but Slaughter made a good catch on him. He singled his first time up though. Danning sets the target. Here's the pitch to Palmer. Palmer gets his second hit to left center field. He's 2 for 3. As again the 40s decade team struggles to get 1, 2, 3 innings. And in top of the order, Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose. Rose has 2 hits, a single and a double. He's scored a run. Palmer at first. Vernon holding him on. Danning wiggles the fingers. Malzberger nods his head. Here's the pitch to Rose. Rose sends that ball deep and gone. My God, did he mash that. And it's now 6-0. As a 70s decade team has feasted on the 40s pitching staff. They've scored 25 runs off of them in under 2 games. So 2 outs, bases empty. Cesar Cedeno steps to the plate, 2 for 3. He has 2 singles and an RBI and a stolen base. As the sounds of silence are coming from the 40s fans. Here's the pitch to Cesar Cedeno. And he strikes him outside, retired, but once again the damage is done. 2 more runs put up on the board for the 70s decade team. We go to the bottom of the 6th, the 70s 6, the 40s nothing. 2 up for the 40s, Williams, Stevens, and Vernon. We go to the chat. Greg Gorecki says, more likely since he only began playing for the Tribe in 48 and was an important player in winning what is until now their last World Series. I shall be back in a moment. Phone delay. And we are back from phone delay. Alright, Ted Williams 1 for 2. He singled. Palmer's ready. Bench sets the target. The pitch comes homeward bound. Williams swings. Dribbler down to Garvey. He backhands it. Flips to Palmer, covering the bag for out number 1. Here comes Vern Stevens. Stevens is 1 for 2. Palmer nods his head. He rocks and fires to Stevens. Stevens a dribbler. Concepcion in the hole. Backhands it. Fires to Garvey. And they get Stevens by plenty. ID Gesture says nothing better than being at work and watching Al Red Sox fan on YouTube. Well, thank you, ID. Don't get yourself in trouble, my friend. So 2 outs. No one on. And here it comes Mickey Vernon. He's 0 for 2. Palmer throwing a 5-hit shutout through 5 2/3. He's walked 1. Here's the pitch to Vernon. Vernon swings, fly ball, right center field. Cedeno on the run, makes the catch, and he made it look easy. Top of the 7th. Time is running out on the 40s. Malzberger back out of the mound. He'll face Schmidt, Garvey, and bench. Mike Schmidt 0 for 2. Malzberger, the windup, and the pitch. Schmidt sends that ball to left. And Williams makes the catch. Got under it. Schmidt just missed the homer. Greg Gorecki says, I'm on lunch. What are you having for lunch, Mr. Gorecki? So 1 out, no one on. Steve Garvey comes to the plate. The first baseman's 1 for 3. He has a home run. And that came back in the first. He awaits the Malzberger offering. And here it is. Garvey swings, sends that ball to left field. Ted Williams on the run towards the line, and he will not get there. That's a double as it went off the wall in the corner. So Garvey gets his second hit. He's in scoring position for Johnny Bench. Bench 0 for 2. He got the start over Munson here in Game 2. Munson started Game 1. 6-0 70s, looking to tack on some more runs. On deck is Bobby Bonds. Here's the pitch to Bench. Bench sends that ball to left field. Once again, Ted Williams on the run, and I don't think anyone's getting this one. That's a 2-run blast by Johnny Bench. 8-0 70s. Good golly, oh Molly. They are destroying this 40s pitching staff. Unbelievable. Okay, 19 runs in game 1, 8 now. That's 27 runs in less than 2 games. Tim Carroll says Schmidt flips his bat in disgust. LOL, he was robbed. That's a good line, Tim. I like that. Thank you for rejoining us. So 1 out. And the massacre of this 40s pitching staff continues. Here's Bobby Bonds, 1 for 3. He has singled and scored a run. Malzberger, 25 pitches, good for 50. Here's the pitch to Bobby Bonds, father of Barry. Bonds sends that ball deep to center field. DiMaggio on the run at the track, at the wall. He makes the catch. Oh, Bonds almost went back-to-back jacks. So 2 down. Bobby Grich steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3. He has a double and an RBI. Malzberger peeks in at Danning behind the plate. Danning sets the target. Here's the pitch to Bobby Grich. Grich grounds it to Keltner. Keltner backhand. Strong throw. Verding makes the catch at first. As he had to dig it out, but he got it. Side retired, but a 2-run blast by Bench. It's now 8-0 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. And it looks like the 70s decade team has punched their tickets to the 2nd round of this playoff World Series tournament. As Tim Carroll says, way to go, Johnny Bunch. Love the crack of the bat. 2 up for the 40s. Danning, Keltner, and a pinch hitter for Malzberger. Danning is 1 for 1. He has double. Palmer again tossing a 5-hit shutout. He's gone 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 walk, no runs, thus the shutout. The windup and the pitch to Danning. Danning rips a shot, and again Schmidt makes a nice play at third on the hot shot at the hot corner. 1 away, and here comes Keltner. Keltner's been up twice with runners in scoring position, but has failed. He is 0 for 2, and Keltner will be called back. Buddy Lewis will come in, pinch hit, play third. 1 out, no one out. Here's Lewis. Lewis was 0 for 3 in the first game. The 70s fans are really clapping up a storm. They're smelling it. They're smelling the 2nd round. What the 40s fans are smelling is poop from their team. Here's the pitch to Lewis. Lewis strikes out. 2 down, and here comes... Well, he's not going to hit. That's Malzberger, the pitcher. Another pinch hitter. Again, there's no roster limit. Everyone's eligible in this tournament. So I have a plethora of players. Both teams have a plethora of players. And we're going to go with Tommy Holmes. Here's Tommy Holmes. In game 1, he was 0 for 4. Let's see if he can get some redemption here. 2 outs, no one on. He needs to extend this inning. They need to get this freight train rolling around the bases. And it starts with Tommy Holmes. Bench wiggles the fingers. Palmer, with a little smile on his face, nods his head. He kicks and deals to Holmes. And Holmes dribbles it up the middle. Grich backhands it, fires to Garvey. 1, 2, 3, go the 40s. And that's the way it's been. We go to the top of the 8th. 8-0, the 70s over the 40s. Lewis will stay in to play third base. And the new pitcher will be Ted Wilkes. He pitched yesterday, though. He got rocked. Ted Wilkes, what the heck? Maybe he'll do better this time. Here comes Wilkes. Actually, Wilkes was alright yesterday. He was the one pitcher who actually pitched okay. 2 innings. 1 hit. It was a homer, but he only gave up 1 run. That's the good news. And he struck out 1. Wilkes will face Concepcion. Palmer in the top of the order. Pete Rose. Here's the pitch to Concepcion, who's 0 for 3. Davey sends that ball to center field. DiMaggio on the run. Right center makes the catch. He had a good read on that, Joe. A quick jump. So 1 out. Jim Palmer, the pitcher's 2 for 3. He has scored 2 runs, and he has 2 singles. Wilkes deals to his counterpart, Palmer. Palmer swings, fouls it back. Counts 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wilkes works quickly. And Palmer works a walk. Danning is very unhappy with that call with the man in blue behind the plate. It's got to calm down. You don't want to get thrown out. So 1 out, 1 on. Vernon holding Palmer at first. Here's Charlie Hustle. Pete Rose, 3 for 4. Rose is 4 for 6 in the series. That's a .667 batting average. With a double, a triple, a home run, he's knocked in 5. Today, he's homered and knocked in 2. Robinson and Stevens look to turn 2 up the middle. Here's the pitch to Rose. Rose is jammed. He pops it up. Robinson calling for it. Moves towards the first base bag. Vernon calls him off and makes the catch. 2 down. Palmer will be off on contact at first base. Cesar Cedeno steps to the plate. Cesar's 2 for 4. He's, excuse me, with an RBI and a stolen base. Wilkes takes a peek at first. Now he delivers to Cedeno. Oh, he comes high and tight and he nails Cedeno. I don't know if that's a message. They know they're pretty much done. He came high and there's a few choice words now between Cedeno, who's speaking in Spanish, and Wilkes, who probably doesn't understand a word of it. So 2 outs, 2 on for Mike Schmidt, and he'd like to get off to Schneid. He's 0 for 3. Wilkes takes a deep breath. Will he gong Schmidt? We shall see. Here's the pitch. And Schmidt sends that ball to left. And Williams makes the catch. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The 1970s decade team 8, the 40s nothing. In the chat, we have another good friend of the channel. What's Blazing in Sports? T-Dub. Check out that wonderful boxing channel. He just posted a new video up. I saw it before I came on. He says, yo, Al, how are ya? And he says, hello to ID Gesture. Hope all is well, T-Dub. So here's Jackie Robinson, 1 for 3. He has single. 76 outs away from advancing to round 2. They took game 1 in this best of 3, round 1 of the tournament. Palmer, the windup and the pitch. Robinson swings. That ball goes to left, and Rose backs up a bit, makes the catch. 1 away. Enos Country Slaughter, he's 1 for 3 as an infield hit. Here's the pitch. He's going to try to drop a bunt hit down, and he fouls it back. No balls, 2 strikes on Slaughter. Again, Palmer rocks and fires. Slaughter dribbles it up the middle. Gritch backhands it and throws to Garvey. And Gritch's tremendous defense has robbed Enos Slaughter pretty much of 2 hits, in my opinion. So 2 outs, base is empty. Here comes the Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio. And DiMaggio is 1 for 8 in the series with a double and a ribby. That's a 125 batting average. He's 0 for 3 today. Palmer looking for a 1-2-3 inning. DiMaggio needs to extend it to keep hope alive. Bench sets the target. Here's the pitch to DiMaggio. Joe swings. Center field. Cedeno makes the running catch to right. Side retired. We go to the top of the 9th. 8-0 70s. They are 3 outs away from punching their ticket to round 2. What's Blazing in Sports is at work enjoying the show. Thank you, my friend. Tim Carroll. Mike Schmidt shaking his head, LOL. He's hit the ball so hard last 2 times and nothing to show for it. But at least the 70s are winning. Yeah, they got a really nice lineup. I chose to play the 40s because of Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio. Their pitching staff has been wrecked. Oh my lord. So Wilkes will face Garvey, Bench, and Bonds. Garvey 2 for 4 with a home run and a ribby and 2 runs scored. Danning sets the target. Here's the pitch. Garvey strikes out. 1 away. Johnny Bench steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3 with a home run and 2 RBIs and a run scored. The windup and the pitch to Bench. Bench sends that ball center field. DiMaggio moves toward his left, makes the catch, 2 away. Can we get a 1-2-3 inning here? We might. Bobby Bonds steps to the plate. Father of Barry, he's 1 for 4 with a run scored. We'll try a pitch around, see if he chases. Bonds does not chase. He's on first. Here's Bobby Gritch, 1 for 4. He has doubled and knocked in a run. Bonds, excellent base runner at first. Vernon holding him on. There's the pitch out. There, Bonds bluffs, does not go. Now Wilkes deals to Grich. Grich swings, he's jammed, it's a pop-up. Stevenson at short, calls for it, outfield, Grass makes the catch. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Jim Palmer takes an 8-0 lead in a 5-hit shutout into the bottom of the ninth. The 70s decade team is 3 outs away from punching their ticket, as I have said it, to the second round. They have scored 27 runs in 2 games off the 40s pitching staff. Palmer needs to get through the splendid splinter Ted Williams, then Vern Stevens and Mickey Vernon. Palmer's thrown 113 pitches, good for 140. Ted Williams 1 for 3 in the game, 3 for 7 with a double in the series. Here's the pitch to Teddy Ballgame. Williams, ground ball, Grich deep on the outfield. Grass throws to Garvey, 1 down. 2 outs away. Vern Stevens steps to the plate. He's 1 for 3 with a single. Palmer looks in at the plate, nods his head. Bench sets the target. Here's the pitch to Stevens. And Stevens works a walk. Palmer asks for a new baseball. Bench gets it from the man in blue, lobs it out to his pitcher. Palmer rubbing up the baseball. Why Garvey is holding on Stevens with a 8-run lead in the bottom of the ninth and 1 out, I don't know. Here comes Mickey Vernon, 0 for 3. He will take strike 1. Vernon steps back in the left-hander's batter's box. Bench wiggles the fingers. Palmer kicks and deals. Vernon swings. He goes the other way, a single to left. Stevens hits second base and will hold. We will not send him. We're down 8 runs. Rose lobs the ball back into Schmidt. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. Bump, bump. All right. As the 70s fans are having a good old time here at Camden Yards, where all the tournament games are played. Here comes Danning. He's 1 for 2. 1 out, 2 on, 8-0 70s. 2 outs away from moving on to the second round. Here's the pitch. Bench goes out to have a word with Palmer. And here's the pitch. And Danning walks. Bases are loaded. And here comes Buddy Lewis in the series. He's 0 for 4. He did not start. He came in to pinch hit for Keltner and stayed in to play third, and he's 0 for 1. Lewis could make amends here. He had 14 home runs in his year of selection from the 40s. 1 swing of the bat could cut the lead in half. Palmer needs to concentrate. Maybe started his celebration too soon. Here's the pitch to Lewis. Lewis swings, sends that ball right center field. Bobby Bonds on the run. He makes the catch. Tagging up from third and scoring is Stevens. Finally, the 40s are on the board with the sac fly. 8-1, but there are 2 outs now. Jim Palmer and the 70s decade team 1 out away from advancing. Tim Carroll says, like your mix of players, I have this game in many seasons. It's my favorite. I like this game, and Dave Koch, Tim just had a sale, but I didn't pick up anything. I should have picked up the football game because it was from the second tier, which is really great value. It would have been $40 because it was on sale, plus the $5 for the upgrade, $35. So I'm just going to wait till it goes on sale again. But they had baseball seasons on sale too. I have a lot of seasons also. This was gifted to me from Beatles Eternally. And he's a good friend of the channel and also one of my moderators. And a fine human being. That's why it's the Action PC Baseball Beatles Eternally All-Decade Tournament. But yeah, very fun game. So, if this goes on sale, I recommend it. There's a lot of... If I played a season or sort of a season with these teams, I would have put a rule in. Like, you can't start the same players 2 games in a row. You know, because there's so many good players. Here's Wilkes, the pitcher. He will not hit. And we're going to go to Ralph Kiner. I like Kiner. I've always liked Ralph Kiner. And Ralph Kiner will pinch hit. The only thing that sucks, if he makes the last out, it's going to be Ralph Kiner making the last out. So Palmer up to 128 pitches. It's 8-1. 2 on, 2 outs. Ralph Kiner steps to the plate. He had a pinch hitting appearance in Game 1. He was 0 for 1. Kiner, in his year of selection, was 280, 36 home runs, and 115 RBIs. And let's just see for Haas. It's from his 1940 season. I'm assuming that, I don't know what they did with the decade teams, if they took an average or if they took a year. I think they actually took a year. I'm actually going to look that up after. Because I know with Stratomatic Baseball, when I bought the players files with every player since 2016, when I bought it last year, it's an average of their career, it looks like. And then they give you the rookie season as the season. I think, though, I'd have to look up to see what Ralph Kiner did in 1940. I honestly don't know. So, alright, so Kiner, the last hope for the 40s. Palmer's ready. Here's the pitch to Kiner. Kiner sends that ball deep to left. Rose on the run in the corner. He looks up and scores! Ralph Kiner! A pinch hit 3-run homer as he touches them all, and it's now 8-4. Ralph Kiner comes through in the clutch. Tim Carroll in chat says yes. Action is great. I have hockey and football too. I have hockey. I like it. I wish it would move more free-flowing like the football game. I have basketball. I have all of them. I actually asked Dave Koch if he was going to do boxing, but he said no. I do like this. I like Out of the Ballpark. I like that too. I have that one. I like Stratomatic. I have Digital Diamond. For football, I have Football Mogul, Action PC, which is my favorite. And I also like 2nd and 10 I just picked up. So, alright. That was awesome. At least I feel a little happy. Ralph Kiner hit a 3-run blast. I love Ralph Kiner. God rest his soul. And here's Jackie Robinson's 1 for 4. Come on, Jackie. Here's the pitch by Palmer. Still looking for that last out to punch their ticket to the 2nd round. Robinson, ground ball to Garvey. Garvey fields it, flips to Palmer, covering the bag. Bang, bang, play! Robinson is out! As the 70s decade team celebrates, they are moving on to the 2nd round. They win 8-4. So Ralph Kiner's pinch hit heroics come for naught, as the 40s decade team goes out with a whimper. They lose 2 consecutive games and are done. Their pitching staff was destroyed. Tim Carroll says, gotta love that Ralph Kiner, a pirate, and that's my team. Oh, Ralph Kiner. Do you know he had to take a pay cut? He was called into an office. I don't know the owner, the man. I might not get the story exactly right, but they basically cut his pay, and I believe he led the league in homers. And they cut his pay. Imagine that now. Things are a lot different. Ralph Kiner, again, a stat, look it up. Every year he played for the Pirates, or his first 10 years, or 8 years, again, look it up, he either tied or led the National League in homers. Tim Carroll, I have Diamond Mine Baseball, Replay, Skeeter Soft, quite a few PC games, and board baseball games. Cool. Do you stream, Tim? Tell us if you stream. I love to check out channels. Alright, that's the ball game. Let's bring up the box score. Bear with me a moment. Oops. Bear with me. Sorry. There we go. I like to do the pitching first. Before we do anything, Greg Gorecki says, you're not alone, Tim. I have been a fan of the Pirates and Cardinals since I was quite young. And Tim Carroll says, you are correct, sir. I believe he's talking about when they made him take a pay cut. Imagine that. The guy leads. They said we finished last or next to last with you. What do you think we'll do without you? Or something like that. Again, I'm paraphrasing. You can look it up. He did take a pay cut. He actually held out and he came back and took the pay cut to play. And he also led the league. Again, I don't have the years straight. It was either 8 or 10 years. He either tied or led the league in homers. People don't understand how good Ralph Kiner was. I mean, some people do, but most they don't. They don't understand the older ball players. You know, the players now are great athletes. Are they better baseball players for the majority of them? No. They can't bunt. They run the bases poorly. Again, I'm a Red Sox fan, so it's all exacerbated. They can't bunt the Red Sox, and I love them. They run the bases horribly. They field the ball in the outfield pretty good. But I mean, they just don't understand the game, it seems, to me. Same thing with football. Bigger, stronger, better. Yes, better football players, that's questionable. You know. Could these guys play two ways? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. I don't know. Chuck Bednarik played two ways in the 60's championship game. Never came off the field. Maybe he was even in on kickoffs. I don't think he ever came off the field in that game. Bedrock. Chuck Bednarik. Alrighty. Anyway, this was a fun series. I got my butt battered as I managed the 1940 decade team, and my God, did we get slaughtered. Their pitching was bad. All right, Palmer goes the distance. 9 innings, he picks up the win. 7 hits, he gives up 4 runs, 1 on a sac fly, and then the pinch hit 3-run bomb by Ralph Kiner, who I love dearly. And those are the 4 earned runs, the 1 homer, the 3 walks, the 1 K. Newhouser only went 3 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 1 home run, 1 walk, 2 Ks. Barry, 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 Ks. Maltzberger, 2 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. He gave up 2 home runs. I believe they were to bench. And bench. Well, we'll find out. Bench is definitely one of them. I can't remember. Garvey hit it off Newhouser. And he had 1 strikeout. Oh, wow. Who hit the other homer? Anyway. And Wilkes went 2 innings. Gave up no runs. 2 walks and a K. Let's go to batting. Pete Rose. Because Garvey hit his off in the first. So Rose had the other one. All right, Pete Rose batted .571 in this best-of-3 series. He went 3 for 5 today. 2 runs, 2 RBIs, a double, and a home run. Cesar Cedeno in his first start went 2 for 4 with a ribby and a strikeout. Mike Schmidt in his first start went 0 for 4 but did have a sac fly for a ribby. Steve Garvey 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored and a ribby, and he struck out twice, and he had a homer and a double. Boy, did I drag that out. And Johnny Bench 1 for 4, scored a run, knocked in 2, 1 walk, 1 K. Bobby Bonds 1 for 4 with a run, scored a walk and a K. Bobby Grich 1 for 5 in his first start with a ribby and a double, and he played stellar defense up the middle at second. Concepcion 0 for 4 with a strikeout, and he's solid at short as always. And Jim Palmer, the pitcher, 2 for 3, 2 runs scored and a walk. In total, in victory and winning the series in Game 2, the 70's decade team, 38 at-bats, 8 runs, 12 hits, 8 ribbies, 3 walks, 6 Ks, 3 doubles, and 3 homers. The 40's decade team, well, they're out. They were swept in 2 games. Jackie Robinson, 1 for 5. He finishes with a .300 average. Enos Slaughter, 1 for 4. He finishes at .250. DiMaggio, 0 for 4. He finished with a .111 batting average. Ted Williams, 1 for 4. He finished it with a .375 batting average. Vern Stevens, 1 for 3. And he scored a run. He walked. He finished at .500. Mickey Vernon, in his only start in Game 2, was 1 for 4 with a run scored. And he finished at .250. Danning, the catcher, 1 for 2, a run scored, 2 walks, and a double. He finished at .500. And Keltner, 0 for 2. Lewis, 0 for 2 with a ribby and a strikeout. Newhouser did not get in that bat, which is odd. When did we take him out? Must not have gotten a bat. DiMaggio, that's Dominic DiMaggio, pinch hitter. He was 0 for 2 in the series. He had a pinch hitting chance in the first game and the second game. Barry pitched, did not hit. Boudreaux, pinch hitter, 0 for 1. Stayed in the... No, he did not stay in the game. Malzberger pitched, did not hit. Holmes, Tommy Holmes, who started game 1, was 0 for 4. Had a pinch hit, 0 for 1. He was 0 for 5 for the series. Wilt pitched, did not hit. And Ralph Kiner, the one bright moment. I was so happy. Ralph Kiner was 1 for 2 in the series because he had 2 pinch hitting at-bats, 0 for 1 in game 1. But he had a 3-run homer off Palmer with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. So he finished at 500 with 3 ribbies. Yay, Ralph. And the 40s decade team, 34 at-bats, 4 runs, 7 hits, 4 RBIs, all coming in the bottom of the 9th. 3 walks, 1 strikeout, 1 double, and the homer from Ralph Kiner. Let's go to miscellaneous player of the game. I think would be Palmer. I think he'd still get it. He went even though he gave up the 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. No, Pete Rose. That makes sense. Rose is the player of the game. Schmidt had a game-winning RBI. The 70s decade left 8 runners on base. The 40s, 6. 1 poor play by Schmidt. 1 great play by Cedeno, Garvey, Grich, and Joe DiMaggio. Cedeno was hit by a pitch. And let's go to the recap now. Let me check the chat real quick. As Tim Carroll says, I like the Red Sox too. Jim Rice, Fred Lynn, Carlton Fisk, Rick Wise. Love the 75 team. Very true, Tim. Greg Gorecki, perhaps you should have given Palmer an error for pitching to Kiner. Tim, thanks for the broadcast. Thank you, my friend, for joining us. Hope to see you again. I greatly appreciate it. Greg Gorecki, great to talk to another Pirates fan. That's from Tim to Greg. Greg Gorecki says, I was glad when I was a kid that Montreal got a team before we did in Toronto because I had the chance to see Clemente, Stargell, Bob Gibson, and Lou Brock live because at the time I lived in Montreal. Oops, spent my summers in Montreal. We knew what you meant, Greg. So thank you very much again, Greg Gorecki, Tim Carroll, ID Gesture. Check out that wonderful channel. What's Blazing in Sports, T-Dub. Check out that wonderful boxing channel. And Tim Carroll, which I think I said that already. But anyway, thank you. Always greatly appreciate it. We're going to do the recap, and we'll call the stream as it's 1:14. And my mother should be homeward bound soon. All right, in the first, the 70s got 2 runs on 2 hits and a walk. Schmidt hit a fly ball, scoring the runner from third. That was a bizarre play. I'm going to go back and look at it because it said Pete Rose was thrown out. Anyone, go back and look at that first inning. I'm not making that up. And then all of a sudden the play got changed. Anyway, then Garvey hit a solo home run after 2 outs. Well, the second out, the Garvey homers after 2 outs. And then the 70s score again in the second, 1 run on 3 hits. Cedeno singled, scoring Palmer 3-0. And they scored again in the third, 1 run on 2 hits. Bobby Grich doubled, scoring Bobby Bonds, and it was 4-0. And then in the sixth, they got back into the action, 2 runs on 2 hits. Pete Rose hit a 2-run blast, 6-0 70s. As that queasy feeling comes over the 40s in the dugout. In the seventh, guess what? The 70s were back at it. 2 more runs on 2 hits. This time, Johnny Bench hit a 2-run homer. So Bench matched his teammate Rose with a 2-run homer. It was 8-0. That's all the runs that the 70s would need. Then finally in the bottom of the 9th, a sac fly scores Buddy Lewis from third, 8-1. Ralph Kiner with 2 outs comes off the bench to hit a 3-run pinch hit homer and cut the lead in half, 8-4. There's hope! But then the next batter made an out. It's all done. The 70s advance, the 40s go home. Pete Rose, 3 for 5, player of the game, double, a home run, 2 ribbies, and 2 runs scored. Steve Garvey, 2 for 5, a double, a home run, and 2 runs scored. Ralph Kiner, pinch hit, 3-run homer. Jim Palmer goes the distance, gets the complete game win. He's 1-0 in the playoffs. And Hal Newhouser went 3 innings and took the loss. So the 1970 decade team will advance to round 2 with an 8-4 victory, and they won game 1, I believe it was 19-3, so they scored 27 runs in 2 games off the 40s pitching staff. Al Red Sox fan saying thank you very much. And before we leave, I'll bring up the bracket in case anyone's watching later. Let's bring up the bracket. Bring up the bracket. Okay, bring up the bracket. Here we go. All right. Here comes the bracket. Let me bring that up in OBS now. That's what we'll leave with. This is the All-Decade World Series Tournament Playoff bracket. As you can see, the 70s advance sweeping the 40s, and they beat them. Oh, I'm wrong. You know what? They beat them. I'm sorry, because I got the other. It was the 60s who beat the bejesus out of the 30s. They won. I'm sorry. They won 8. They scored 8 runs in both games, so it is 16 runs. I apologize. 16 runs. So they won 8-2 and 8-4. I'm just looking at that now. I knew something didn't sound right because it was in game 1. The 1960 team beat the 1930 team 19-4. That's what it was. I was the 60s, though, so I was happy about that. Lots of good players on that. Oh, so the 70s will advance to play the 50s, and the 20s will await the winner between the 60s and the 30s. The ones who got the automatic buys, and I just picked them, it didn't matter. I went 1950s got a buy, the 1920s got a buy, the 1800s got a buy, and the 2000s got a buy. And the 2000s are going to face the 1980s. The 1910 is going to face the 1800. And the 20s awaits the winner of the 30s and the 60s. And 1970 will face 1950. This is Al Red Sox fan saying thank you very much. Take care, everyone. Much health and happiness. Bye-bye, and God bless. And as always, peace.